is Suzanne Toro, and I would like to thank you for joining us today. We are going to talk about connecting with reliable information, connecting with well-researched information. And during this period of our existence on planet Earth, we have reached a pinnacle of the most interesting times that we have actually seen, where governments are ruled by lobbyists, and we are seeing how media agencies are actually controlled by special interest groups. And while some of this might seem depressing, I think of it as liberating, because we are being afforded an opportunity to build something new. So the architect and designer in me comes out and says, wow, we have the opportunity to recreate something amazing, and one that will actually be aligned with authenticity, transparency, and actually information that makes sense. So what I'd like to do today is for all of you just to think for a moment about the information that's coming in, and thinking about the media agencies that inspire you, that feed you, and to just for a moment to reflect, do these agencies do their due diligence? Do you even know? And to start to ask some questions. Well, I watch XYZ show, or I read XYZ paper. Do you even know who owns the paper? And do you know what their interests are? The reason I bring up these questions is not to point a finger or put anyone down. It's to really, for all of us, to get out of the mode where we just take information in an age of a social media network where people are popping out information daily, and it might resonate with you or not, but we don't know if it's fact or fiction. And what is fact or fiction? So what I'm encouraging everyone to do, if they're inspired, is to take a little bit more time, take a little bit more responsibility with the information that they're receiving, and do some extra research. So it's like back when you were in school, if you decided to write a paper on a certain subject matter, you would research it. You would find the facts. For some of us, there wasn't the internet, so we would have to go to a library. We'd have to go to encyclopedias. And imagine there was a delay period of time from how long it takes to print a book, and by the time it reaches the press, by the time you're digesting that information, it actually isn't even accurate any longer. So now, with the information age, we are afforded many things. We're afforded instant information, we're afforded instant research, and we have the ability to actually circumvent any agencies that are not reporting authentically and communicate with each other or direct to scientists, to artists, all these different people. So, being that we could be the seeds of innovation to what the new news looks like, what the new newspaper looks like, what the new magazines look like, I want you all to ask the question, what do you desire? And I would love to hear from you. What do you desire in media today? And if you have a moment, please send me a message either on this program or send it to me via email, because I'm curious. I'm curious what everyone is craving to know and what they really want in their lives. Maybe people don't want to know so much about the destruction of the world, and they want to know about the creation of the world. So I would like to hear from every single one of you that is inspired. Send me an email to Suzanne at omtoro.com. Again, that's Suzanne, Suzanne, at omtoro.com. And let me know what you're interested in hearing and how important it is for you to know that the story is actually fact versus a fabricated story that might be a subjective point of view. And I'll share with all of you where I really learned this lesson. When I was in high school, there was a huge cocaine bust, and the high school I went to was actually involved, but indirectly. The gentleman that had started the drug ring had attended my high school, so therefore we were somehow some journalist's creative expression, and he decided that everyone that went to our high school were a bunch of children that had a large amount of disposable income and had a cocaine habit. And it was rather just made a huge impression on me because we were on the cover of Time magazine. We were on news agency shows. We were swarmed by the school, and this is before this was really popular to be doing this sort of thing. During that period of time, I watched an interview. I watched the journalist interview a friend of mine, actually a series, and then they went and wrote the article, and I went and read that article. And the way they quoted her and wrote the article was nothing like what had occurred during that conversation. So with that being said, I realized, gosh, we all have our own perspective, our own reality of what is and what is not. So given that, how do we decipher between fact and fiction? And if we're really upfront saying, I am a journalist, I'm an author, and I interviewed this young girl at the school, and this was my impression of her, yet this is what she stated, and let everyone else choose. Or just say, this is my creative expression, being really transparent and upfront about it, but not trying to write a story in a certain slant so you will be, quote-unquote, the rock star. And many of my friends that have worked in news agencies, that's what's pumped them up. They're all out seeking so they can be the first to the press with certain information. However, it goes a little bit deeper once you start digging into the whole news agency, is that a lot of times the stories are created so they can actually be there before something occurs. And that's why I'm inspired to think, gosh, well, if we're in the sea of slanted perspectives and people's impressions, and basically, I guess we're all writing fiction, even I'm probably speaking fiction right now, then what does our souls crave? What do we want to know? How do we want to be reported to, and how do we want to receive the information? And so today my inspiration was to open up the dialogue, really hear from the listeners and see what you want to know, what entertains you. Is it just 3 minutes on YouTube, or is it that you really would like to know what's happening in Japan right now and want to know the facts but have no way to get to them? With that being said, I lead us to the next point of our conversation, and that is pointing out that there are many agencies, that is the beautiful part of how the universe works, that are committed to that. They feel a desire to report authentically what is happening to the best of their knowledge and hold that level of integrity, transparency with them. And they also don't want to be made or told what to do with their reporting style. So I've had the pleasure of coming in contact with a couple. One I know that is an activist station. They're really focused on telling the stories, and reporters and people that are creating documentaries about stuff that's happening on the ground around the globe, and that's linktv.org. I recommend checking them out. They have a lot of interesting news and information coming through their portal. Another one that he has appeared, and I've been impressed with his reporters, his level of integrity, and his willingness to really go the extra mile to clear up people's misunderstandings. He's been doing a lot of work on Fukushima, and that is Mike Adams with naturalnews.com. This organization is really reporting on news. They're also reporting on health, anything that has to do with your physical health, working with the earth. And you can check them out on the World Wide Web. And they've just launched a TV line, too, where they are encouraging people to upload videos that have a relationship to their focus. So you might check them out. They are a public education website. They really want to empower individuals to make positive change in their health, their environment, and with everything around their ecosystem, all of our ecosystems. So I think all of us would like to be informed. To what level, that's purely our own preference, to see if you really want to know a lot about a certain subject matter, if you're really interested in Japan right now or Libya, or if you're really interested in just what's going on in your hometown. Take time to get educated. Take time to really find out the facts. Stop before we move forward and gossip or present hearsay. it takes a lot of extra work, but you know what? I think in the end, we all will have a better sense of what is happening around us and can speak out of a voice where we're certain and grounded in that information. So again, 2 starting locations that I recommend, and if anyone has additional ones, would be natural, I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind here, naturalnews.com. You can check them out on the World Wide Web. They have had many offers to be purchased, and interesting enough, they are committed to not selling out. They want to make sure that they can steer their vision. And the same with Link TV. I've had conversations with them, and they are very committed to making sure that they really hold the integrity of their content and the vision of all the reporters. So those are 2 areas. Those are 2 seeds of innovation. Some have been around longer than others. And I know there are many other people that are committed to reporting truth, sharing inspirations. And finally, again, if you are interested, and I would love to hear from you how and what you would like to see in the media and what rings true to your heart center, and what does authenticity, and is it important to you? Do you want to hear transparent news, or do you prefer not to know the truth? I find it fascinating, and I love to ask the questions and hear the answers. So please feel free to connect with me at SuzanneToro@gmail.com. Again, SuzanneToro@gmail.com. Until next time, this is Suzanne signing out, sending love, laughter, happiness, and joy to every single one of you. Enjoy the next moment. Namaste.